Hello again, everybody. In this week's episode, I build my entrance. We go on a small villager hunt, and I start to build an abandoned castle, which will be turned into something different later on. Also, in this video, I made a little mistake when recording the video. I will explain later on. First, I build my entrance. I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. I wanted a powerful entrance on my island. Doctor Who is a comfort show for me. The older episodes, in my opinion, are the best because they have longer times to tell the story. And I feel that the newer ones are more compressed into like 60 minutes or an hour and 10 minutes, while the other episodes can range from up to 1 hour and a half and up to 6 hours. The longest episode of Doctor Who was The Trial of the Time Lord, which had 14 episodes, and the story ended up being around 6 hours in length. One of my favorite actors who played the Doctor was Mr. Tom Baker, who starred as the Doctor for the longest duration. He was the Doctor from 1974 until 1981. I remember one of the serials of Doctor Who that he was in was named The Brain of Morbius, and it was set in a castle. The plot of the story is that a mad scientist wanted to give life to the Time Lord criminal Morbius. It was basically like a Frankenstein kind of story. It is one of my favorite serials of Doctor Who. Another reason why I decided to build castle in for the entrance is that I am a huge fan of castles, and I'm also a fan of abandoned buildings. Seeing abandoned homes, I always think, what are the memories that are boarded up in that house? I'm also a huge fan of fantasy novels. Anything that has a castle in it, I'm a fan. There is a place close to where I'm from where you can go and take a boat tour and see islands from the boat. A lot of the islands have castles on them. Some of the castles are abandoned and some of them are owned by people. After the tour, they also offer you that you can go and check out this castle that is owned by the county and that they started to restore. The history of the castle is that a millionaire hotel owner back in 1900 wanted to build a castle for his wife. He wanted to build it for her, but after his wife passed away, he halted construction in 1904, and he never returned, leaving the castle abandoned and unfinished until 1973. For 73 years, the county acquired the castle and started to restore the castle in 1977. Now it is open for tours. Seeing this castle and touring the castle when I was younger, I was mesmerized by the castle, and I guess that's why I love castles to this day. I am also a really huge fan of The Legend of Zelda for the exact same reason, because of the castle. A little off topic, when I first played the Ocarina of Time, my two favorite places were, one, the Lon Lon Ranch and the Hyrule Castle. I love the Lon Lon Ranch because of the horses, and Hyrule Castle because of that it's a castle. My theme for this island is going to be the same for every island I've ever had. And it's a place where people can just come and move there and start a new life, meet friends. And I'm going to decorate all the yards by their backstory. I'm going to also rebuild Cherry's yard the same way that I built it in my old island of Nightshade. I don't have the DLC, but what I like to do is I like to decorate the yards because the yards are more fun to decorate than the actual houses, in my opinion. I like to watch other content creators do the Happy Home Paradise, but it's just not for me. If you're into the Happy Home Paradise DLC, there is a couple of content creators who do the Happy Home Paradise DLC, and they are really, really good at it. One is Rebs Cozy Gaming, and the other is a live streamer. Sometimes she does the Happy Home Paradise DLC in her live streams. Her name is Camille Crossing. I will link both their channels in the description. Both Reb and Camille do a great job in the Happy Home Paradise DLC, so please go check them both out. Another thing that I really like about Doctor Who is that they have novels written, and I have some of the novels, and they are very well written and very interesting. They have one novel that takes place in Los Angeles, and the Doctor has to help stop aliens from invading LA. They also have a TV movie that was set in San Francisco. Also, Peter Cushing played the Doctor in a movie also. What the problem was, I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. The villagers I saw on the villager hunt that you didn't see were Diana, Freya, and Chester. When I saw Drago, I thought he was the one. He was my first ever lazy neighbor. Also, I just love Drago, and that Drago would also fit in with the storyline that I have with Gale. Drago is very kind, and he reminds me of a mixture of Cranston, Bones, and Alfonso. Let's meet our newest neighbor on Luna Key, Cobb. My backstory for Cobb is that he grew up in San Francisco. He always loved taking photos. His mom bought him a camera. He always loved taking photos of the sunset. His father didn't like him taking photos and wanted him to be a scientist just like him. Cobb did not want to follow in his father's footsteps because he did not have an interest in his father's job. After high school, he ran off with his high school girlfriend. They went to LA. She worked the biggest independent promotion in all of Southern California. Cobb was there to take photos of the event. She was sitting backstage talking to a friend of hers who was a wrestler while Cobb was taking photos. The promoter had a big problem. The challenger for the women's championship no-showed the card. Before the show started, the promoter was going to cancel the show, but Cobb spoke up and said that his girlfriend is a trained wrestler. He asked Cobb if she would wrestle. Cobb said, "You'll have to talk to her about that." She agreed and went on to have the match of the night, which was a 60-minute time limit draw for the championship. Cobb was very proud of her that she got to work a professional wrestling match, and she got the main event, and also she came very close to winning the women's championship but lost because a championship cannot change hands on a disqualification, count out, or a time limit draw. Another thing Cobb used to love doing is going to Venice Beach and take photos of the sunset. Cobb and his girlfriend split up, but they still remained friends. Cobb kept in contact with his ex. He told her he couldn't go home, and she heard about the Nook's deserted island getaway package, and she told him about it. She thought that it would be good for him, so she told him about it and what she felt, and he decided that he wanted to sign up for the Nook's deserted getaway package, and he wanted to start a new life on Luna Key. Cobb is a good guy. He loves working out, but he always has time for his friends. You can mostly find Cobb exploring the island, taking photos, or just hanging out with all his friends. I did not get footage of my campsite visitor, the first one. The day that he got there, there was thunderstorms in real life, and I did not want to hook up my Nintendo Switch and play it during a thunderstorm, but I played it in handheld. But I will tell you about his backstory, but he will be walking around his house while I'm telling you the backstory. My backstory for Lucha is that Lucha used to be a professional wrestler, but he wanted to record an album. That was one of his dreams. He decided to talk to some record labels. They didn't want to release the album. He's a great singer. They didn't want to work with him because he was a professional wrestler. So Lucha recorded an album with his friends, and he decided to release it independently. For the album cover, he decided that him and his friends put on luchador masks and took a photo of them in a nightclub. They used that photo for the cover of the album. He talked it over with his friends who worked on the album with him, He wanted to name the album Lucha and Friends. He wanted to name the album that because he couldn't have recorded and released the album without his friends' help. The album was a hit. The same label who laughed at him and called him wanting him to sign with their label. It was his turn to laugh. He said, "You laughed at my dream. I tell you what? I tell you that you didn't want me. Well, I don't want you." And he hung up the phone. Lucha felt really, really good about what he did. Lucha decided to record a few more albums with his friends. He retired from the music business and also retired from wrestling. He wanted to go to a place where he can find some great friends, some great people to talk to. He's a very friendly guy who loves to talk to his neighbors. He loves to help out, and he loves to make friends. Lucha is a down-to-earth, cool guy. Lucha is another one. He may love his muscles, but he loves his friends even more. I am building a abandoned castle behind Cobb's house. The story for the abandoned castle is that Cobb was walking and exploring the island when he saw the castle in ruins. His curiosity got to him. He went exploring and found 2 headstones in the castle near the back. Cobb doesn't know who is buried there. Cobb feels bad that the graves are abandoned. So Cobb decided that he wants to put flowers on the graves. Cobb just saw them there and he just instinctively just wanted to put flowers on the graves and show his respects. He was taught by his mom, and his ex also taught him that being nice is the right thing. Another thing he believes in, that you don't know what someone is going through, and being kind is better. Cobb loves to explore. After he saw the graves, he went to report them to Tom Nook and tell him what he found. He asked Tom Nook to please leave them there. Tom Nook looked at him and said, "I totally agree with you, Cobb." He's going to make sure that they stay there and not be removed. Cobb saw the area and he just loves it. He loves abandoned buildings. They fascinate him. They always have. Cobb loves to read. He wants to have a place where his friends can go and read. He loves to encourage reading. I will work on Cobb's yard in a later video. Cobb went back to the abandoned castle to walk around and explore. And he was thinking that this could be a house, and the people who owned it and the headstones belong to the people who owned the island before Tom Nook got to the island. So Cobb immediately ran back to resident services and asked Tom Nook if he could talk to him. Tom Nook said sure. He told him what he thinks that the headstones are, and Tom Nook looked at him and said, "I totally agree with you, man." Tom Nook told Cobb that's one thing that he believes in is respect. He told Cobb that Blathers wanted to move the museum in the castle ruins. Blathers asked Mr. Nook what to do with the graves in the castle ruins. Tom Nook said, "Leave them alone, don't touch them. It's someone's resting place, and it would be very disrespectful to disturb them." Blathers looked at Tom Nook and said, "You're correct, Mr. Nook." Cobb also went to go talk to Lucha and told him what he found. Lucha agrees with Cobb, thinking that it could be the people who owned the island before, and that Lucha said that he would definitely make sure that nobody removes the gravestones. Tom Nook does act a little shady at times, but Tom Nook does have a conscience and does have respect for people. Cobb is waiting patiently for Brewster to come to the island because he wants to talk to Brewster about making a place where people can just sit and read. Cobb thinks that it would be a perfect tribute to the former owners of the island. Cobb really loves to help out other people, and he also loves to read, like I said, with his backstory. I know that Cobb is not one of the most popular villagers, and he's on the lower tier of villager list of popularity, but I absolutely really love Cobb. He's really nice, really kind, he's really cool, and on his first day there, he couldn't wait to get to meet his new neighbors and make friends. Thank you for watching my video. If you liked the video, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.